Good morning. We want to welcome you to this meeting of the Drainage District Board of Directors for today, December the 1st, 2015. The entire court being present, we have a quorum. Please join us in our prayer.
Thank you, Judge. Let us pray. Father God, we give you thanks for another day that you give us. Thank you for the coolness that you bring, Lord. Thank you for the many blessings that you provide, Lord, and the trials also, Lord, that we know that we become better people as we work through those trials, Lord. Thank you for this elected board that you have given us. I ask that you continue to guide them, give them discernment and wisdom, Lord, as they make decisions that affect us all. Continue to give myself, my staff, the wisdom also to work as if we're working for you, Lord. I ask all this in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Open forum. I don't believe we have anybody signed up.
And consent agenda, any concerns?
Not that I'm aware of, Judge. No, there's no concerns.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
If I may, item 5, discussion of the L County Drainage District Number 1 Drainage Projects Maintenance and Operations. Just again to mention to the board that we're going to have our Drainage Advisory Board meeting on December the 9th at 9 a.m. here in this conference, this Commissioner's Courtroom. So encourage a staff member or yourself to send someone to attend. We're just going to go over the projects of the previous bond issuance and where we are on the status of those projects, what we're looking forward to doing.
So we need to publicly commend you for your efforts in trying to communicate the status of these projects to the public as was contained in that county newsletter.
Yes, sir. Definitely. You're welcome. And we'll continue to provide that transparency and information for everyone.
All right. Item 6.
Item 6, 2013 bonded series, approval of closing documents for parcel 49 and 55 in relation to J09 Drainage Improvement Project. And if I may, item B as well, request for issuance of manual check offer to complete transaction.
For approval. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 7 would be request approval to issue payment on the following items. 2013 bond, Fund 133, Weir System Rehabilitation. Application for payment number 2 in the amount of $132,317.82 from Foremost Paving, Inc. related to construction contract number ACDD 1-14-032-1217, Main Floodwater Channel Weir number 5 slope repair. PO number 626788. Everything's in order.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 8, request approval to issue payment on the following items. 2013 bond, Fund 133, Precinct 4 Rural Drainage Development. Payment application number 2 in the amount of $233,863.20 from Pega JPS Utilities, LLC, related to construction contract ACDD 1-15-010-07-22B, Precinct 4, Tower Road, and mile 17.5 road area drainage improvements, PO 627525. Everything's in order.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 9, approval to accept appraisal market value for the sale surplus right-of-way property described as a .1263 acre tract of land out of Lot 3, Block 2, Steel and Pershing subdivision, Caldwell County, to include the cost of appraisal services and closing costs for Robert L. Lozano and Laurie G. Lozano. This property was declared surplus back in actually 2002, but there was never action taken to close the property. We consulted with legal, and legal's asked to bring it back, get the updated appraisal, which we have, and then all the costs associated with the closing of the property. It is declared already surplus right away for us, and we have no use for it. So
when was it declared surplus?
I believe it was 2002, I believe.
Damn, about 14 years ago.
Yes, sir. That was my surprise as well. What happened is he's going now to close on a loan, on a refinance, and he thought he owned the property. All the work had taken place already as far as the action from the board and everything, but we never closed the property. So this is now the step we need to take to close
Move
the property.
for approval. Second.
Those in favor
The legal
say
has
aye.
reviewed it.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Okay. Item 10, discussion, consideration, approval of
Wait a minute,
TC.
but have they been paying taxes on it? The people before, Steve?
No, it's been under our ownership.
Okay, because if they have, we're,
Unless exempt.
okay.
No, it
but I
had-
mean, before it became surplus.
No, once it's no, it was owned by us. It's
It
still
was
owned by
owned
us.
Okay, 'cause I thought you said it was owned by them still.
No. It's owned by us. Once this action goes through and we close it,
Yeah.
yes, sir, then they will. Item 10, discussion, consideration, and approval of TCDRS plan provisions for plan year 2016. There's been, I guess, a couple options. I think my understanding is in the past, what the district and the county has done is a flat rate 1%. However, since we have not considered any type of adjustment for our retirees in the past 3 years, I believe, because there hasn't been any type of COLA or anything for our employees. And traditionally, when we do the adjustments for our employees, we do adjustments for our retirees as well. It's my understanding. So what we have discussed here, we discussed it also with budget in the county, and traditionally the district follows or works closer with the budget office in the county, and a lot of times mirrors the same action. The recommendation is to other option is available to us is to award a percentage of the Consumer Price Index, the CPI. And in this case, we would be requesting 100% of the CPI, which would put our rate at 13.1%. Where currently it sits at 12.13%, which is a 0.97% increase for a currently rate. It is somewhat of an increase for our retirees and their benefits that they're receiving, and considering that the district and the county, I believe, is also going to consider adjustments to their the COLA for their employees. This goes in line with previous action. So that's what we're recommending on the district side for the 100% of the CPI.
I wonder, where's the people from the county?
They're right here.
What was it? What was going to be your? I thought maybe
Yes, sir.
we could work together.
Of course, yeah, and we did that right now. I just recommended Commissioner, and we met ahorita real quickly with Sergio, and he'll elaborate on that.
Yes, Judge Commissioners, we would also be recommending 100% of the CPI. Right now, TCDRS only allows for a 1% flat rate increase, which is what we have traditionally done, flat rate increases. However, because CPI from last year to this year has been pretty low, they've only allowed for a 1% CPI. The 100% of the CPI valuation would allow for a little bit better benefit for the retirees to mirror more closely to the 3% that the employees received.
Yeah, because we haven't gotten a rate. The employees
Correct.
haven't gotten it for the last 3 years.
Correct.
For retirees, yeah.
Yes. So we will be requesting 100% of the CPI for the retiree increase.
You need action on that?
Yes, I do need action.
So is that what y'all were recommending, Damian?
Yes, sir. That's
All right.
that's what Laura we're
Move for
recommending. That's
approval.
correct.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 11. At this time, I don't have any closed session
Move to
items.
adjourn.
Thank you.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. At this time, we're going to be convening a regular meeting of the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court set for today, December the 1st, 2015. The entire court being present, we have a quorum. Please join us in our Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Almighty God, we come together today for the good of the citizens of Hidalgo County. Give us your wisdom as we make decisions that will affect them today and in the years to come. Help us to work well together, recognizing that each of us are here because we want what is best for Hidalgo County. We ask for your blessing and your guidance. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Our consent agenda, are there any concerns? Mr. Ofracio, any concerns?
Judge, I would like to ask that consent agenda item 2L, 2T, 8C, 10A1, and 12B be put for discussion.
Move for approval without 2L, 2T, 8C, 10A1, and 12E.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Consent agenda items 2L and 2T, there's no action needed. I'm sorry.
Correct. We'll be requesting no action on this.
2L and 2T.
All right.
I don't know, the other one is related to Head Start. I don't know Head Start is. But,
No action on both 2L and
yeah,
2T.
2L and 2T, there's no action on those two
All right,
items,
sir.
Judge. Next one is 8C, and that's related to Head Start program. The consent agenda item reads approval of a meal snack monthly report, but that document was not attached to the agenda item.
Is there anybody from Head Start here?
Yes, we have this for this here.
Can you please step forward, Teresa?
The document should have been attached. I need to just check in here.
What was attached was a financial report, but
We'll bring it back and get that part approved next week.
there's no action.
Well,
Right, it's an approval of a report that we make on a monthly basis. The policy council approves it, and then we submit it to you. But if it was not part of what was in there, then we'll just go ahead and bring it back to you.
Ms. Flores,
Yes.
our next court won't be for 2 weeks. Could we
Approved subject to review.
Subject to submitting it? Sure.
submitting it?
We can do that.
That'll
And
be
I'll-
my motion.
Second.
Aye, those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
It's not a problem. Thank you.
The next one is from our office, Judge, and the requesting no action on the monthly financial report for 2015. We're going to put it on next agenda item,
All right.
next agenda. 2 weeks, Judge?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
On the 14th, I believe.
So no action on 10A1. 12E, I think Marty's going to address that.
Yes. We sent an email yesterday showing the agenda clerk, and I sent it to Ms. Fong, that we have asked the owner of the property is getting his Accord insurance certificate through his agent. So I'm asking that it be approved subject to receipt of the insurance certificate.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
That's all we have. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, under open forum,
Yes, Judge. We do have 3 participants. First one is Ms. Opal Billman.
how many presenters, Valdez?
3 presenters, Judge.
All right.
3 presenters. Ms. Billman, I'm sorry. Before you start again, I will ask the audience to respect the speaker's time and
This is the
as
range.
well as respect keep any noise level to a minimum. Ms. Billman.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Opal Billman. In Hidalgo County, for a legal settlement, Joe submitted our community property to and petitioned the court for a divorce in 1996. Decision of the court was that our community property was excess land with no value. No proper appraisal was done, and no division of our community property occurred. Joe sold nothing, I sold nothing. The judge did nothing, leaving our debt-free community property precisely as it entered the court, owned equally by Joe and me and on the docket of the court. Actions of the court from this point were to take over our private legal community property, which violates the Constitution, private property law, and also the state of Texas community property law. The court cannot wheel and deal with our community property as if it belongs to the court. That would be a land grab. When Joe died, the law to close the case was not applied. Because of Joe's death, the case was incomplete and over. Since being under court control and with my police-enforced false imprisonment, just about everybody believes our community property is up for grabs. It is not. For one thing, the court has not closed this case. There is a law that rules it must. All property owned by Joe at the time of his death is the estate of Joe Billman. The estate of Joe Billman is inherited equally by his 3 heirs. The heirs of Joe Billman own the estate of Joe Billman. Undivided community property owned equally by me remains mine from the date of the purchase of it by Opal and Joe Billman. Compliance to the law by official ends this beartree, frees our family and property from the control of the court, and returns the community property of Opal and Joe Billman to its pre-filed divorce petition status. Thank you.
Our next presenter. What happened to my sheet? Is Ms. Fern McClarity, and she also has a public participation. My apologies. A public participation form for item 20C2.
Yes, the first thing I want to say, I guess I get to be the first one, is to say Merry Christmas. And I just want to remind this Commissioner's Court that Jesus, Yeshua, is the reason for the Christmas season. So maybe y'all keep that in mind. And I did do the participation form on 20C2. This is about the boot camp. We all called each other and we said, oh, they are going to do something special for the boot camp. And we got excited because we were going to get to come and say thank you. You don't get a thank you yet. I'm hoping that at the end, I believe at the end of December, the first part of January, that they may have another graduation or something. We're asking, the Owls are asking the group to make it public that y'all will be all there. I believe that's legal if you do that. And go to the graduation, go through the building, have them take the time for them to explain like they do to the public why they do it, what they're doing. And our question is, again, like I say, we found out that this wasn't extra. So we're asking you to look into this program. There are many things that are wrong with the court, the juvenile court, that they don't use the attorneys that are there that are provided, I believe, by the state indigent defense instead of using public lawyers, which pay over $200,000 and $150,000. So we would ask y'all to look into that matter and see if you can't help the public. But be with those boys. They've got one more chance. And the one thing that they do not put, there's only certain boys that are allowed in there. They do not let murderers, they do not let certain ones in there. They're only a group. And they just graduated some. We're hoping and waiting for the courts to put some more in there. So please take the time to go there. Thank you.
Thank you. Last presenter is Ms. Julia Sullivan.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. I'm just here to remind you all to encourage your staff to come to our employee Christmas party, which is this Thursday. Doors open at 5:30, and there'll be music and a dance troupe and good food, and it's going to be held at the FAR Event Center. And thank you for supporting the Christmas party for your employees and for all Hidalgo County employees.
Thank you. Judge, we don't have any more presenters under open forum. Judge, Commissioners, I'm going to ask an item to be taken out of order. We do have representatives from the City of McAllen, if I'm not mistaken.
What item is that?
Item 22. Item 22, under closed session.
I think FAR's here for sure on that. I don't see representation from McAllen yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
They're not here?
They're not here yet?
So do we go back then?
Okay, then, you know what, Judge, as soon as they come in, I'll ask for that item.
All right, then we'll go ahead and proceed with the regular agenda.
Yes.
Item number 6A.
Good morning again, Commissioners. If I can ask the District Clerk and her staff to come on up. Ms. Laura Hinojosa. Item 6A is recognition of District Clerk Laura Hinojosa and the District Clerk staff on a very successful employee fundraising campaign. And as you can see, they're going to be having a slideshow in just a second. This December marks the 7th anniversary of the Blues for Bucks workplace fundraising campaign. It was established by a district clerk's office in 2008, and the fundraising campaign allows department staff to voluntarily wear jeans every Friday in exchange for a $5 donation. The contributions are collected for a 6-month period and then donated to charitable organizations that they select in Hidalgo County. The charitable organization is randomly selected from a pool of nonprofit entities submitted by the staff. By the end of this quarter, the district clerk will have contributed over $50,000 to charitable organizations in Hidalgo County due to this campaign. Today we recognize District Clerk Office and the staff and the District Clerk for their ongoing efforts and for making a difference in our community. And we'll present this award to you.
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners and Judge.
Good morning.
We really want you all to know how important Hidalgo County is to all of us. As you know, public service is all about giving back. Public service is provided by government to people living within its jurisdiction, so all the money raised stays in Hidalgo County. As you can see by the plethora of T-shirts here, we have given to the National Butterfly Center, the Food Bank, to DHR, to Ronald McDonald's House, to the Boys and Girls Club, the Rainbow Room, and this period we are giving to World for Children. So giving back is something that we all feel is very important. Not only has the staff collected money for these organizations, but they also helped the American Red Cross when there was a disaster in Haiti. They also helped with Project Playground for the playground refurbishing in Oklahoma after the tornadoes. They also helped and gave money to Catholic charities when we had the influx of immigrants. So we are all very honored to be working for Hidalgo County. We are all very blessed to have our jobs, and we thank you for all you do to ensure that we do have a job.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
And this isn't all my staff. There actually is staff working at the office. So we're headed back now. So again, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for your efforts.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. May we be excused?
Can we take a photo?
Sure.
Okay. Right here. Maybe about 5 or 6, 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Right here. Divide one group over here and then the other group right over here. And then, of course, the commissioners.
Balance.
Not in the middle. Can you move on the side? Right like this.
You're trying to hide us. No se miren.
Okay, great. Okay, ready? 1. Ready? I'm sorry. Okay, ready? I want to get everybody to take this one. 1, 2, 3. Okay, great job.
Keep that up.
Thank you, Laura.
Congratulations. Thank y'all, ladies. Thank you. Thank you for doing that.
Good idea.
Yeah, it is.
All right, our next item is item number 7, our district attorney's office. Do we have Do we have a representative here from the DA's office?
Judge,
Valde?
I'll go ahead.
It's not that big, Valde, you can go in.
Thank you, Commissioner. They're requesting approval for the county treasurer's office to process payment for a fuel reimbursement. That dollar amount is $31.50, and that would be for Dale R. Booth. This would be done after auditing procedures are completed by our county auditor.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 8, Constable, 8A, Precinct 1.
Morning, Raulito.
Morning, Judge Commissioners.
Morning, sir.
Item number 1, discussion, consideration, and approval to appoint Ernesto Sanchez as a Reserve Deputy Constable by Constable Celestino Avila Jr. as per Texas Local Government Code, Section 86.012.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Next item is approval to appropriate the budget for the Constable Precinct 1 portion of the fiscal year 2014 Operation Stone Garden Grant Phase 2 in the total amount of $22,463.63.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Precinct 2,
Commissioners, Judge, good morning.
good morning.
Precinct 2, we have a couple of items. Armando Campos for Constable Martin Cantu. First item is approval to appropriate the budget for the Constable Precinct 2 portion of fiscal year 2014 Operation Stone Garden and the Phase 2, total amount of $52,500.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Second item, discuss consideration and approval to appoint David Martinez as a Reserve Deputy Constable by Constable Martin Cantu, Constable Precinct 2, in accordance with Texas Local Government Code, Section 96.012.
Motion approved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen. Happy holidays.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Chief Deputy Rene Gonzalez for Constable Precinct 3. Today we have Constable Precinct 3 2016 Homeland Security Grant, authorize and approval to apply for the 2016 Homeland Security Program through the Regional Homeland Security and Criminal Justice Lower Rio Grande Development Council.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Authorization for the county judge as authorized official to sign required documents.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You, sir.
Judge, Commissioners.
Yes, sir.
For Constable Precinct 4, they're asking approval to appoint Mr. Norberto Guerra as a Deputy Constable by Constable J.R. Gaitan.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And under their Operation Stone Garden, which is Fund 1284, they're asking approval to appropriate a budget for the precinct fiscal year 2014 grant phase 2 in the amount of $54,500.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Judge, under Executive Office, item 9A, discussion, consideration, appointment of Hidalgo County representative to the Hidalgo County Metropolitan Planning Organization Transportation Policy Committee. Judge, Commissioners, with that being said, in working with the MPO, I know that there's a lot of time involved in the representation. At this time, I believe that I'd ask the court to appoint Commissioner Precinct 4 as our representative to the MPO Transportation Policy Committee.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimously.
If I may comment and give credit where credit is due, Commissioner Flores has done an impeccable job for so many years. Our area has been beneficiaries of millions and millions and millions of dollars throughout our community. I benefited on some of the corridors that he's helped and assist. I hope to, it's some big shoes to fill, not just physically, but but for the work that he's done out there. But I look to work with all of y'all and and see what we can do to push corridors through the MPO. But I accept the challenge and thank you for your vote of confidence.
Congratulations, Commissioner. I know that those good words you said about me, but we've gotten a lot of money to our precincts. Precinct 4 is starting to do some work. Precinct 3 has gotten $750,000, almost $1 billion so far, and I think Precinct 2 is getting there.
Yes,
too,
sir.
Precinct 1.
Appreciate it.
So I think I've been there maybe close to 3.5, 4 years. It's your turn to go in there now and see what you can do for your precinct. We got most of our corridors in the process or they're even getting done. And I think you got some, and Cantu's got some, and Commissioner Cantu and Commissioner Cuellar's got some. So I think it's, y'all's turn now to go ahead and do what y'all need for your all's precinct, even though I helped y'all as much as I could. And now that you are in a board, so you're doing a hell of a job in your precinct. So I think you deserve this job.
Well, we'll continue working for the court and for all, but I appreciate the vote of confidence.
But just for clarification, just to show what a great job Commissioner Flores has done, that's $750 million in projects that they've done in his area because those people have been shovel ready, and that's what we're learning as our precincts, Joseph and AC, and now myself, that get our projects ready and they will get funded, and that's what we learned from Commissioner Flores. So great job, Commissioner.
Thank you.
All right.
Judge, Commissioners, our next action item is I'm asking the court to approve an invoice in accordance with our accounting procedures manual, which is our food policy and authority for treasurer to issue check after review and auditing procedures are completed by our county auditor. It is for a Civil Service Commission meeting that was held on October 22nd of this year. It's in the amount of $52.50, and it's to the vendor Subway. This is due to the 2-hour limit with respect to our food policy. But again, we have no way of knowing how long these civil service meetings last. We have some that last 30, 45 minutes, an hour. We've had some that have lasted 4, 5, 6 hours. So again, I'm asking the court to approve the invoice.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Judge, Commissioners, I'm going to skip to item D and E real quickly. Item D, I'm asking the court approval of payment of attorney vouchers. These were not submitted within the time frame as per the local rules of administration, TLGC 74.093. This would be for attorney J. Joel, I'm sorry, I apologize.
Roel.
Thank you, Judge. J. Roel Garcia, in connection with legal representation of indigent defendants with authority for the county treasurer to issue payment after review and auditing procedures are completed by our county treasurer, our county auditor, I'm sorry. These would be for courts 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. Total amount of 13 invoices is $3,250.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item E is discussion of possible action to authorize myself to sign, as the county executive officer, to sign certification tabulation of utility adjustments for FM 681 ROW CSJ 0669-01-051/0862-01-046.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
If I might go back to item C, Judge, Commissioners, discussion, consideration, and action regarding written resolution and ballot selection of Appraisal District Board of Directors for 2016-2017. I believe we have Mr. Garza in the audience. Mr. Garza? I'm going to ask Mr. Garza just to give, for the benefit of the audience, just a real quick synopsis as to the board and the process.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Up today is the court's selection of your ballot for the Board of Directors of the Hidalgo County Appraisal District. The Board of Directors has 3 basic functions, and that is to operate establish an office for the appraisal district, to hire and fire the chief appraiser, and to adopt policies for the running of the appraisal district. They have no authority over value. So I know that's a big confusion, that people have the assumption that they can order certain values to be increased or decreased, and that's quite the contrary. It is against the law for them to have anything to do with value. They are strictly an administrative board. Their major function, like I said, is the operation of the district and hiring and firing the chief appraiser. The court has 1,195 votes that they can distribute.
Can you explain the distinction between a member of this board, the appraisal review board, and this particular board?
Certainly. The appraisal district does have another board, which is called the appraisal review board. They do have authority over value, and the appraisal district will come up with our values as of a certain date, which is typically January 1 of every year. We send out notices, and then the property owners have the right to file a protest. If they do not agree, if the appraisal district and the property owner do not agree on a value, the property owner then has a right to go before this appraisal review board, and it is basically a court, kind of a court system, and you present your case to this appraisal review board, and it would be the property owner versus the appraisal district, and this board would make a decision on that property owner's value.
And how are the members of this appraisal review board selected?
In 2009, the change for the appraisal review board membership took place where now the administrative district judge of Hidalgo County appoints at his or her sole discretion the members to the appraisal review board. So the appraisal review board as of today is selected by Judge Bobby Flores currently as the administrative district judge.
But these individuals we're selecting today have nothing to do with any of these appeals.
That is correct. They have no authority over value, like I stated earlier. They simply have an administrative function as far as the appraisal district is concerned.
All right, sir.
And like I was saying, you do have 1,195 votes, which you can distribute to one candidate or as many candidates as you wish that are on the ballot, which are currently 12 candidates.
Thank you. Judge, Commissioners, with that being said, with respect to the 1,195 votes, I'm asking the court to consider the following breakdown with respect to the votes to these representative candidates. Mr. David Hernandez, 505 votes. Mr. Eddie Cano, 278 votes. Mr. Richard Garza, 206 votes. Mr. Jimmy Garza.
How many votes for Richard?
206 votes. Mr. Jimmy Garza, 100 votes. Mr. Amador Requenes, 79 votes. And Mr. Albert Cardenas, 27 votes.
Motion to approve.
That will, okay, you've given us 6 names. What will the effect of this motion be? Who are going to be the 5 members of the board?
There's still votes out there.
There's still votes out there, but this is my recommendation as to our total 195 votes to these 6 candidates. The top 5 vote getters would be your would be the appraisal selection.
My question is, which votes are still out?
As of today, after you vote, we still have South Texas ISD, which has 105 votes. We have La Jolla ISD with 195 votes, and there's probably 10 other districts with 20 votes or less each. So there'd be
So you're probably talking about less than 500 votes?
less than 500 votes. As far as you're able to divide your votes amongst any number of candidates, the top 5 vote getters at the end would be declared the victors.
So this can change.
Excuse me?
This can change.
With your vote today and the number of votes that are out there,
Yes.
it could, but the ones that you're voting for would more than likely become the 5 victors.
All right. Was there a motion to approve?
I made a motion.
Is there a second?
Can we wait till after everybody votes and then we can make our vote?
You can certainly wait. However, December the 15th is the deadline. If your votes are not in with the resolution by that time, your votes will not count.
Let me ask you, so are we meeting before the 15th?
We're meeting on the 15th, no?
We're meeting on the 14th, I believe.
We're meeting on the 15th, Tuesday, 15th, and is that the deadline?
That would be the deadline. We'd have to get that resolution
So we would
in
have
before
to
the
make
end of the
meeting- we
day.
have to make the meeting instead of the Tuesday, make it on a Friday or so?
Well, no, we can have it on Tuesday.
And we'll be all right if we do it on the 15th.
You can do it on the 15th.
We'll just
There's
have
not
to
a
get
problem.
The appropriate paperwork to your office.
Right. It would have to be submitted by the end of business day.
5 p.m.
Yeah.
But
All right, can you again tell us, La Jolla has how many votes?
195.
And who else?
South Texas ISD has 105, and they are voting this evening.
And cumulatively, everybody else has like 100, I think.
Excuse me?
Cumulatively, all the rest have less than 100.
Yes, sir. That is correct. Cumulatively, the rest would have about 160 votes.
Oh, okay.
160.
160 altogether.
And how far is 5 from 6? How far is 5?
That'll be 460.
5 from 6 would be probably around 300 and some votes. It'd be highly unlikely that they would.
It could change.
It could change.
Yeah, 460 if all were to be cast in favor of one of the candidates.
It could change.
They
They can target somebody.
Well, it's not to disenfranchise anybody, but I think traditionally we've always waited to the end.
Yeah.
If we got till the 15th, and I'm just making a motion that we hold till the 15th meeting.
Okay,
Just-
then.
I'll rescind my motion.
Thank you, Commissioner.
All right. Then we'll go ahead and take no action and wait until the
On the
15th.
15th.
We will see you on the
Get everything
15th.
ready, Valde, like as soon as it passes, boom, take it to them.
We'll have everything ready, actually, when we take court action. Ronald, if you can't make it, we'll.
And put it on the beginning of the agenda.
I'll be sure to be here, Judge, Commissioners. As soon as I get totals from the other entities that are voting, I'll send those over to your office so that you can have a compilation of the totals as of that date.
All right.
Thank you, Judge,
Thank you,
Commissioners.
sir.
Thank you, Mr. Garza. The TERS people are here.
Judge, Commissioners, I do believe we have the representatives that I was talking about earlier, so I'm going to ask the court to take item 22 out of order.
What number?
22, item 22.
And
Closed session.
yeah.
Valde, are they separate?
No, they're all together.
They're both on there? Okay.
Closed session.
All right, this requires executive session, am I correct?
Yes, sir.
And at this time pursuant to Section 551.087 of the Texas Government Code, I would entertain a motion to proceed to executive session.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. All right, we're going to be convening back in open session. This is related to items number 24, C, D, and E.
Valde,
He may have taken it up on his own.
Marty lo corrió por la casa.
Valde.
he was running scared, that's why he was hiding back there.
My apologies.
Marty ya te dio el día.
How many donuts did you eat, Valde?
All right, we're at 24 in open session, 24C, D, and E, Valde.
24C, D, and E.
24C is related to Project Hub, which is a FAR terrace.
Yes, under item 24C, Judge Commissioners, I'm going to ask that we just proceed as directed.
In action?
No.
No?
No, we just, just for the record, we'll just proceed as directed. 24D, Project Palms, again, for the record, proceed as directed. and 24E, Project Bluebird. For the record, we will proceed as directed. Judge, Commissioners, those are the only three right now under closed session. I will be asking the court later to go back into closed session, and that would be under the authority or under the posting of 25. Reconvening back in closed session.
All right, we'll do that at a later time then. Right now, let's go back to our regular agenda. And we're down.
Judge, item 10, no, I'm going to ask for no action at this time.
Which one?
Item 10.
No action.
10A?
Yes, sir, 10A, no action at this time. Item 11A for HR.
Morning, Judge Commissioners. Carlos Aguirre representing HR. Item 11A, Community Service Agency. Community Service Agency is not technically a county department, but they have been working with HR in terms of their procedures, change of statuses, and basic policies. They're requesting consideration approval to reclassify one regular full-time position currently titled IT Security Engineer at a salary of $34,320, and they proposed, we recommend a reclassification to Information Technology Manager at $49. Based on the information provided by the agency, the automation has increased substantially in that office. Mr. Longoria is automating many of the functions, and this position is appropriate, this title, similar to positions in IT department here in the county. Mr. Longoria is here in case you have questions.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Commissioner.
Judge, Commissioners, I do want to make one little notation. I know Mr. Silguero said that the CSA is not technically a county department, but again, for the public or for the audience, CSA is a county agency, and as Mr. Silguero says, they do follow our policies, procedures, so forth and so on. But I do want to make it clear that that they are a
government.
They are part of Hidalgo County. Hidalgo County. Thank you.
Judge, for the record, that motion was for A1 and 2?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. 11B, this is from the tax office. We're requesting waiver of the budget amendment policy, and we're asking, discussion, consideration, approval of the following. The tax office would like to delete one position and create one position. It's a deletion of slot 0074, Deputy Clerk 1 at 27,835, and create slot 0184 at 27,835. This is a wash. There's no change in salary.
Move for approval of B 1, 2, and 3.
Second. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 11C from the Sheriff's Office. We have items on the jail side and on the commissary side. We're requesting a waiver of the budget amendment policy, personnel-related amendments, and discussion, consideration, and approval of the following personnel actions. They're requesting adding clothing allowance and deleting clothing allowance from slot number 396 to slot 040 in the amount of $500. The next item is a reclassification of a position from registered nurse 4 at $60,655 to registered nurse 5 at $73. This position is vacant. They have increased the duties of this position, and they would like to post it as a nurse, registered nurse 5. That position is being funded from adjustments in the detention officer side. There's slot 0177 and slot 0281 from 38,251 to 31,364, and from 36,957 to 31,364. Those are negatives, and that makes up the 12,480 that would be needed for the registered nurse 5 position.
Is that more or less on the same line as the health department?
Health department, yes, sir.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
The last item on that grid is the regrading of a commissary position, commissary supervisor.
That was to 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
1, 2, and 3.
1, 2, and 3. Item D, constable, and I took the liberty, Judge, Commissioners, I left a little table on your
Yes, right.
so you could refer to it if you need it. It's the constables, they're requesting, Constable Precinct 2, requesting waiver of the budget amendment policy is approval to create one regular full-time sergeant, step 1 position, slot number 0015, budgeted salary, according to the pay plan, it's $47,359. Approval to waive posting, hiring, and enrollment procedures and promote employee number 088226 to the sergeant step 1 grade, slot 0015, as per the constable grade and step plan, and approval to delete one regular full-time deputy constable step 2 position, budget slot number 5, and approval of the interdepartment transfer. The pay plan calls for, if you have 12 or more deputies, you're entitled to one sergeant. If you look at the table, Precinct 2 constable doesn't have a sergeant. Precinct 1 has one sergeant because they have 13 deputies. Precinct 2 has 0 sergeants, 2 in Precinct 3 and 2 in Precinct 4. So it's appropriate and it's in line with the step and grade pay plan.
D1 to 6.
1 through
6.
1 through 6.
1 to 6. Second.
Thank you.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item E is for Precinct 2, road maintenance. The Precinct 2 is requesting approval to create one regular position, slot 098, mechanic 3, at $40,000. Item 2 is approval of the intra-department transfer, and item 3 is approval to revise the salary schedule.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners.
Thank you, sir. Item 12.
Judge, item 12A, under Healthcare Funding District, I believe there will be no action today. And item 12B1, Indigent Healthcare Program, again, there will be no discussion.
All right. Item 13, our fire marshal.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Good morning, Sheriff.
Discussion and approval of the following 2016 rural emergency service interlocal agreements with the following cities from 1 through 19. The only revision is going to be with Lynn San Manuel. It should say City of. But this is the rural emergency services contract. So we're looking for the approval for that so we can send it out to the cities.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. Also, this is my last Commissioners Court here. So I did want to thank the court for the support that I always had as fire marshal. I hope that I made you and this county very proud. I'm very thankful for the opportunities that I have here and all the great people that I had the opportunity to meet. In my stead, Eric Sanchez will be taking over the office, so I did want to bring him here so that you could meet him. Anything that you need while we're hiring the new fire marshal, he will be at your service. Again, thank you very much, and I was very proud to be your fire marshal.
Well, thank you very much for the work that you've done. I know that you work closely with our emergency management coordinator and with the various fire departments throughout our county, and we've heard nothing but good things for the good work that you have been doing through this period of time you've been there. And I know that you've told us where you're headed, and we just want to wish you well.
Thank you so much, Judge.
And good luck to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Judge, Commissioners, with that being said, just as an update and for the audience also to be aware, we have had this posting for a fire marshal statewide as well as locally. We have had 23 inquiries. Actually, there's 23 applications that are in the pike. Of the 23, 9 have been completed. And our intent is to close this Friday. We have also made contact with the state with respect to this publication, just to let those that inquired with the state, let those applicants know the deadline, which will be this Friday. It will have been posted, I believe, a little over 3 weeks, but we did have quite a few applicants. So with that being said, our intent is after we close, we will vet the applicants, and our intent is to vet them down to the top 5 candidates for the court's consideration. And again, we will rank them for the court, but that will be for another commissioner's court.
Who's handling it?
Right now, the Human Resources Department will be assisting with the vetting. We are also asking, and I did talk to our fire marshal. I did ask him to help us with respect to the vetting. He gladly said that he would do it or help us with the vetting of the applicants down to the top 5. Again,
But is it required by state to do what's on the application?
Yes, sir. Actually, what was posted statewide as well as locally with the general requirements was straight out of the statute. That's what's required to have the post. Again, we did ask, I believe it was for a minimum of 6 years, Mr. Silguero, Esther, I believe it was 6 years of experience with respect to fire investigation. There is no minimum requirement, but we set a requirement of minimum 6 years of investigative analysis reporting in that field.
Peace officer.
Peace officer certification as well, yes, sir. It's part of, again, we were following the statute.
And all the other counties within our radius, within our area have it?
Yes, yes. This is the same thing. The basic general requirements are across the board in the state of Texas.
Well, was there an intent? I know before we've had a designee under an assistant fire marshal. Is there an intent to either create that or continue on a default? I know Chief Martinez in the past has had Bradley Wesley as a, but I don't think we've never had anything formal.
No,
is
sir.
there intent to formalize an assistant?
Right, and Commissioner, I'm glad you bring that up. I have been working along with HR. We have been working with the various departments. I have made contact with I believe all the departments at this time for transition plans with respect to having a second an assistant.
Yeah, and I say that because I see them. They office out of the Emerald Building, and these guys are 24/7.
Right,
these
exactly.
guys have to be on call. They're on call. They respond, and it's tough to have just one designee. I think the appropriate thing would to have a second.
Exactly. And again, Commissioner, we have been working with departments. I know that the agencies as well, Urban County has done as well. They've made some changes with respect to in Ms. Edna's absence, that there would be someone behind her. So we are working with the various department heads to have a second or an assistant to that office. And Commissioners, with that, as I said, with that being said, we will have, at least it was my intent at the end of the day, to have something formalized with all the departments at one time.
But here a couple of weeks ago, I had a call from an individual, but a report had been done almost a year ago, hadn't been signed. Have you take care of that?
We addressed that, Commissioner. Our fire marshal, I made contact with him that evening. The fire marshal did contact the officer in charge of that file. He was out at a training, if I'm not mistaken. It was taken care of that Friday morning. We did make contact. I did personally make contact with the representative of the family, letting them know that the report would be ready.
Are there any more out there still pending?
Commissioner, to our knowledge, no. But again, Juan, our fire marshal, conducted an audit, and nothing has popped up. That was the only file.
The only thing that I'm concerned about is on the budget. I was looking at the budget the other day, and about 40% of it says, we don't have any line item for the numbers.
Another line item?
Yeah.
Sergio, are you familiar with, or Juan, the other line item for the fire marshal's office?
Yes, for 2016?
Yeah, for the coming year.
Yeah, for the ensuing year, I think we budgeted
Close to $1 million, and there's about $400,000.
a little bit less than 500,000 that we budgeted under other, and the reason for that is going to be for the fire call contracts that we just signed.
Okay, that's what I figured.
Yes, we are projecting. We did increase the rates. We did go from 5 categories to 3 categories. So we are projecting that we would have some type of increase for next year. So we did budget a contingency for fire calls.
Okay, that was my own question. That's what I figured.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. The next item is Ms. Stephanie, Urban County.
Good morning, Commissioners. Our first item on the agenda is on behalf of the City of Progreso requesting consideration and action to award and enter into a construction contract with G&H Company LLC for a street improvement project in the amount of $505,173.50 utilizing their Urban County funding from years 26, 27, and 28.
Move for approval.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item B is requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code 262.024A4 for construction material testing services.
Move for approval.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
14B2 is a presentation of the scoring grid for the purposes of ranking by Commissioners Court of the 3 construction material testing firms that were evaluated for a City of Progreso street improvement project. The 3 firms evaluated were Rabba Kisner Consultants with a grade of 94, Terracon with a grade of 88.33, and Millennium Engineers Group with a grade of 87.33.
Move for approval.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item B3 is the authority to negotiate a construction material testing contract with the highest ranked firm of Rabba Kisner Consultants for the street improvement project.
Move for approval. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item C is requesting, on behalf of Precinct 4, requesting consideration and action to award and enter into construction contract with OG Construction, the lowest bidder meeting all specifications and all requirements for the General Land Office project round 2.2. This is a GLOW-funded project, and this is for the Alberta drain in the amount of $1,621,209. It is also going to be provided funding in about $200,000 from the Drainage District, and the appropriate affidavits have been filed.
Just update, this was an area that got heavily affected. This drain is going to provide a whole lot of relief to a very densely populated area, so we're very excited that this project is going to start. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Item D is requesting the authorization to amend the subrecipient agreement with the Boys and Girls Club of Mission under the CDBG program for fiscal year 2015. And the reason we're requesting this amendment is that the original amendment indicated that funds could be used in the City of Mission. However, this is only to the Jensen unit.
It's only what?
The Jensen unit.
Okay.
But, yeah, that's what, I mean, that we did the same thing last year, right?
Last year, it's only the Jensen unit.
Yeah.
We cannot fund the City of Mission since they are an entitlement community on their own.
Yes, ma'am. Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item D is on behalf of the City of Mercedes requesting authority to purchase fire station equipment for the fire department under a contract under Costco's Industries Incorporated, contract number 432-13, and approved vendor through Hidalgo County's membership and participation with the buy board. The amount of the purchase is $10,485.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Diana. 15, Elections Administration.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Updates from the Elections Department. We'll start off with, we are holding a City of La Jolla runoff election today. The early voting will end this Friday, and Friday early voting will take place from 7 to 7, with December the 8th, which is this coming Tuesday, to be the election day. Out of 2,258 registered voters, as of 10 a.m., we only had 262 people go out there to vote, so I encourage anyone registered in the City of La Jolla to go out there and vote for the Commissioner Place 4, which is a runoff in that city. There is still time to go out there and vote. The second update is this Friday, we will be sending out close to 300,000 of the new certificate. Take a look. It's going to be the baby blue. Please be looking out for it. Your orange certificate will expire this coming December 31st. Please know that if you receive, or if you know of anyone who receives a certificate and it is not in the correct address, bring it to our office. Make sure to let people know that they need to send it back in order that it be corrected. We have 314,000 registered voters, but out of those 314 plus thousand registered voters, there are 20,000 voters in suspense. What does that mean? That means that 20,000 certificates came back to our office undeliverable. They're registered voters, but they did not receive that certificate in the mail. They may have moved, the address is incorrect. Whatever reason, we need to get those correctly done. So please encourage everyone that if they do not get a certificate in the baby blue, they'll be mailed out this Friday. Give it a couple of weeks. Call our office at 318-2570 and inquire now, because what is happening this coming year is our primary election. I've got the calendar. I know we've given it to you before. Do you mind giving them one? And then I have extras in case anyone needs one. March 1st is the primary election. It's a presidential, but the filing deadline for candidates to file for a place on the ballot is Monday, December the 14th. So that's coming up very soon. So if anyone is interested in running for a place, there are so many places on this ballot. Monday, December the 14th is your deadline. And of course, the last day to register to vote or make any changes is Monday, February 1st. So once again, if you don't receive your voter certificate, something is wrong. Call our office, make the changes now. Don't wait until it's too late. First day of early voting will begin Tuesday, February 16th. So all these dates are coming up quicker than we think. It's time to make those changes. It's time to ask the questions now. Be informed. Be ready to go out there and cast your vote. Let's make sure that this election has the highest turnout ever. Very, very important places on this ballot. So anyone has any questions, please encourage them to call our office and to ask the questions now.
Ms. Ramon, the only question I've got is...
Yes, sir.
On our address, if it's got a P.O. box number, how do the people vote?
We do not accept a P.O. box except for mailing.
Well, that's what I mean. I've seen some cards sit on the post office, and I've returned them to you last, remember?
Yes, sir.
And it's got a P.O. box number on it.
Right, and there was a period, and they may be grandfathered year, which those are the 20,000 that I talk about that are under suspense, and we are waiting for them to come and fill out what is called a statement of residence to update their record, because there was a period in the 70s and 80s that accepted P.O. boxes because the small cities, that's all that they had. But we're waiting for them. When they go vote, they have to fill out a statement of residence before they're allowed to vote to update to hopefully their 911 address.
Yeah, and another thing is, if you run into some of those cards, they need to bring them back to you, right?
Please bring them back to our office, because that way, those are those voters that are under suspense. Those are those voters that must update their record before they're allowed to vote. They're active voters. They are registered if they're under suspense, but they cannot vote until their record is updated.
And if they do get a card, say for example at the P.O. box, how do they prove their residence?
When they come to vote, and we have them under S, which is not suspended, but suspense, before they're allowed to vote, they have to fill out that statement of residence, and they have to give us an address, a physical address that determines where their precinct is.
Given or displayed on an identification card, or are they just going to write it in? Or?
They have to write it in, because that application is an affidavit.
I've run into a lot of them last year.
That application is an affidavit.
Yeah, I've run back, and there were P.O. box numbers.
Right, and they can have a P.O. box for a mailing, for their mailing address, but they still have to have, within our county, we still have descriptive addresses. Some of our small cities, some of our rural still do not have 911. So if they have a descriptive address, a farm road that crosses with another farm road, that is still acceptable in Hidalgo County, but it gives us an exact pinpoint.
But it doesn't matter where you live, the postman still gets there, as long as you register.
You know, we have a lot of conversations with our postmaster, because sometimes they cannot deliver, and that's why those are returned back to us, because those are not forwardable. So those certificates come back to us, and then we send them a statement of residence, and sometimes the voter does not take the time to return them to us, or they send us the same address. And once again, it becomes a vicious cycle of sending them a new card, it comes back undeliverable. They go to vote, they write in the exact same address. We try to get our judges and our clerks to be cognizant of that, to look at the address, and if it's exactly the same, to get us a phone number so we can call them and we can update the records. We've done a great job. When I first came 8 years ago, it wasn't 20,000 that were under suspense. It was over 60,000. So we've done a great job, but we still have a lot of work to do. And we hope to do this with our voters that are aware that if they don't receive a certificate and they know they're registered, contact our office today, now, not when it's time to vote.
If they're registered to vote, how long will it take before they're suspended or taken out of the vote if they don't vote?
It's 2 federal elections. The state, the Secretary of State will purge them, cancel them after 2 federal elections
That's
that
8
they
years.
don't update.
8 years? 8 years?
It could be. It depends when they register. So if they register right after a federal election, then it would be 8 years. But if they register right before a federal election, then 1 passes and it could be less than 8.
What
Just
do you
depends when
consider a
exactly they
a
register.
Federal election, I mean, the Congress goes every 2 years.
Not a constitutional. That's not considered a federal. It would be a presidential or a gubernatorial.
Okay.
Great questions, and I hope that our community that is listening will be watching out for this baby blue certificate, and if they don't get it in the mail, then please contact our office, come by our office, and let's get this corrected now so that everyone is available to and ready to vote this next presidential primary election.
Have you approached any of the media to do PSA related to this, since it's, I mean, we're coming around to that period? Maybe one of the, whether the Monitor or the
Yes,
one
sir.
of the news circuits can probably run a PSA on it.
Yes, sir.
It'd help a lot.
We certainly will. We will work with the public affairs. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 16, our Head Start.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ms. Flores.
We have item 16A, presentation for discussion and consideration and approval to enter into a memorandum of understanding, MOU, between Hidalgo County Head Start and Couch Elsa Independent School District. This is one of those readiness models that we're following. They will be sending 5 teachers to our campus in Couch, and they will be serving 10 classrooms, and so they'll be dual enrolled with us and with the school district. We recommend approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
B, discussion approval on request to purchase instructional materials, classroom and teaching supplies, contract number 48715, through the Hidalgo County's membership participation with the Texas Association of School Boards, TASB, by boards, multiple awarded vendors for the term of the TASB contract expiring 10/31/18. And there's a list there: Barnes & Noble Booksellers Incorporated, Discount School Supply, Gateway Printing and Office Supply Incorporated, Hatch Incorporated, Kaplan Early Learning Materials, Lakeshore Learning Materials, National Education Systems Incorporated, Positive Promotions, and School Specialty Incorporated. Administration recommends approval.
Move for approval on 16B 1 to 9.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you. Discussion approval, that's C, on request to purchase tires, tubes, automotive parts, supplies, equipment, contract number 470-14 through the Hidalgo County's memberships with the Texas Association of School Board, TASB, by boards, multiple awarded vendors for the term of the TASB contract expiring 11/30/17. Number 1, Bill Bunton Auto Supply and Machine Incorporated. Number 2, Burton Companies. Number 3, Goodyear Commercial Tire and Service Center. Number 4, Napa Auto Parts, McAllen. And number 5, O'Reilly Auto Parts. Recommended.
Move for approval 16C 1 to 5.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
D, discussion approval on request to purchase office supplies and equipment, contract 496-15 through Hidalgo County's membership participation with the Texas Association of School Board, TASB, by boards, multiple awarded vendors for the term of the TASB contract expiring 10/31/18. Number 1, Gateway Printing and Office Supply Incorporated. Number 2, Gulf Coast Paper Company. Number 3, School Specialty Incorporated. Number 4, Staples Contracts and Commercial Incorporated. And that's it.
Move for approval on 16D 1 to 4.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Our last item, letter E, this is a discussion and approval to revise the Hidalgo County Head Start Program area distribution 2015-2016. Anytime we move slots around, children's slots from one section to the other, we have 6 areas, and so we'll have to have that approved by Commissioner Court and Policy Council. We recommend approval.
Move for second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you very much. I do want to remind you that we do have a governance training this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. We left some letters there. If you can't attend, If you will please send a representative, we would really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 17, our planning department. No, so TJ around it.
Well, I believe they went back here, Judge.
All right, we'll come back to it. Let's move on to item 18, precinct 3.
He's there.
Good morning, Judge. Commissioners, Merry Christmas.
Always ready.
Ya estamos en diciembre. Para toda la gente que lo está escuchando a través de televisión, queremos felicitarles una feliz Navidad y un próspero año nuevo.
Very good.
18A, Precinct 3, Veterans Boulevard, SH 495. 1. Approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor for the revenues received from the city of Palmview for the road improvements to Veterans Boulevard.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Number 2, approval of 2015 appropriation of funds into Precinct 3 Veterans Boulevard, SH 495, in the amount of, here's going to be changed, Judge, from 461,570 to 421,570. This has been approved by our Sergio and also our auditor. What's our rate?
Move for approval.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye. Where's the check, Mingo? Where's the check? Mingo, where's the check?
It's a deposit already, Commissioner.
Okay, I was just wondering.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioner.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good one, Mingo.
Item 19, precinct 4.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. Item 19A, approval interfund transfer from Precinct 4 Road Maintenance 1200 to Emergency SRV Lynn 1100 in the amount of $17,084.58.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. Job, Jesse.
Good job, Jesse. You can't beat Mingo.
Have a nice sweater.
Item 20, go ahead, sir.
Morning, Judge, Commissioner Sergio Cruz, Department of Budget Management. Item 28, discussion, consideration, and approval of TCDRS plan provisions for plan year 2016. We're recommending 100% of the CPI, which should yield a rate of 11.25% for the retirement contribution rate.
That's just like the drainage district. Move
Correct.
for approval. Second.
That should bring the retirees to 100% of cost of living, so they should be made whole already.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 20B is discussion, consideration, and authorization to apply for fiscal year 2016-2017 Regional Solid Waste Grant.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And 20B, 2 is approval of resolution in support of the Regional Solid Waste Grant.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item
But you
20C.
got to understand that all this, this grant's going to be for all 4 precincts, right?
Correct. What we'll be doing is trying to start some type of recycling efforts within the transfer stations. And also, so we'll be meeting with all the precincts and also submitting that to the grantor. Item 20C1 is approval of 2015 interfund transfer from CO's 2015A Precinct 4 to TxDOT Precinct 4 Fund 1315 in the amount of $1,202,000 to fund expenditures related to the 10th Street project.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And 20C2 is approval of interfund transfer from countywide administration to the juvenile boot camp transfer in Fund 1295 in the amount of $330,000.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners.
Thank you, sir. Item 21, purchasing.
Martha Salazar, Purchasing Department, 21A1, Precinct 1, requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code 262-024A4, a professional service.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Presentation of the scoring grid for the purposes of ranking. Sames Incorporated 98, Javier Hinojosa Engineering 93, Rio Delta 88. Does the court wish to rank them in the order of their scores?
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Authority for purchasing to commence negotiations with the number 1 firm of Sames Incorporated.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B is Precinct 2, approval to terminate the following contracts with R. Gutierrez Engineering as listed on the agenda. There are 5.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2 is requesting exemption under Texas Local Government Code 262-024A for a professional service.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
B is presentation of the scoring grid for the purposes of ranking. Cruz Hogan Consultants, 96, South Texas Infrastructure Group, LLC, 94, Quintanilla Headley and Associates, 92. Does the court wish to rank them in the order of their scores?
Motion approved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C is authority for purchasing to commence negotiations with the number 1 ranked of Cruz Hogan Consultants Incorporated.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 3 is acceptance and approval of work authorization 4 with an estimated cost of $230,275.08 as submitted through the project engineer L&G Consulting for services on Precinct 2 Nolina Loop project located within the precinct.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
B is pursuant to the contract with L&G, Article 12. They are requesting approval from the court to permit the subcontracting of Amatera Environmental Incorporated for Nolana Loop project.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 4 is requesting approval of supplemental agreement 9 with R. Gutierrez Engineering, contract number 358, resulting in an estimated cost increase of $15,664 for services under work authorization 12 for the South Fork Precinct 2 drainage project.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C1, Precinct 3, exemption from competitive bidding requirements, Texas Local Government Code 262-024A4, a professional service.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Presentation of the scoring grid for the purposes of ranking. The scores are as follow: L&G Engineering 99, Millennium Engineers Group 92, and Earthco LLC 75. Does the court wish to rank them in the order of those scores?
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C is authority for purchasing to commence negotiation with the number 1 ranked firm of L&G Engineering for geotechnical and construction material testing services.
Move for approval.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2, requesting exemption under 262-024A4, a professional service.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Presentation of the scoring grid for number B for the purposes of ranking of the firms: Sames Incorporated 91, Lefevre Engineering 87, L&G Engineering 99. Does the court wish to rank them in the order of their scores?
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
C is authority for purchasing to commence negotiations for a contract with the number 1 ranked of L&G Engineering.
Move approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And just to add more information to that one item, it's for the South Detention Basin for Precinct 1. Under item 3, requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements, 262-024A for a professional service.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
The presentation of the scoring grid for the purposes of ranking. This is for project FM 676 for Precinct 3. This is L&G 99, B2Z Engineering 91, South Texas Infrastructure Group LLC as 94. The court wished to rank them in the order of their scores.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C is authority for purchasing to commence negotiating with the number 1 ranked firm of L&G for engineering services for FM 676.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Under item D1, this is pursuant to a request by Mr. Renan Ramirez, CIO, Hidalgo County IT Department, exemption from the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court approval orders for both major and minor purchase deadlines as attached herein, so as to permit the processing of requisitions, also attached herein, with vendor assurances in writing of the delivery prior to 12/31/15.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item E for Health and Human Services, approval for county judge to execute a service agreement between Health and Human Services through Mike Escaname for a commissioner's court to approve and replace 8 cubic yard trash bin container with lid locks to current account with the City of McAllen for the Health and Human Services Clinic located on 300 East Hackberry in McAllen.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item F1, this is approval for Hidalgo County to exercise the second of two possible one-year extensions as provided in the RFP 155, excess workers' compensation insurance, with acceptance and approval of the premiums and fee schedule as submitted by and through Montalvo Insurance for 2016 coverage in the total amount of $194,640 effective January 1st through the next year.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item G is Colonia Access Program Precinct 1, presentation for discussion, consideration, and action to recommend, as recommended by the project engineer, to award to the lowest bidder specifications to 2GS LLC in the amount of $197,079.50 for bid number 332, road construction of Fort Tijerina
Second.
subdivision.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
H1, Sheriff's Office, acceptance and approval of certificate of substantial completion for the contractor Central Air and Heating Service Incorporated, reflecting the date of November 10th, 2015, for the Adult Detention Center and Law Enforcement Center facility roof and/or air conditioning repair and replacement, as submitted and certified to the project engineer, Chanine Engineering.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
That is all I have. Thank you.
All right, for the record, I want to make sure that the record is clear that I had earlier walked out of the meeting when item number 14C was considered. I want the record to reflect that I abstained from voting on that particular item. And now we move on to item number 17, our planning department.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. TJ Arredondo for the record. We have two items for preliminary approval. Item 1A, Huizache Acres, number 12 subdivision, is a subdivision located in Precinct 4. It's a 55-lot subdivision. And item 1B, Jardín del Sur subdivisions in Precinct 1. It's a 49-lot subdivision. We're recommending approval.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Next item is final approval, 2A, San Joaquin Phase 3 subdivision. It's located in Precinct 1. It's a 48-lot subdivision. We are recommending approval as well.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Last item is final approval with financial guarantee, California Apartment subdivision in Precinct 3. It's a one-lot, multifamily lot subdivision. We're recommending approval.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, TJ.
And at this time, pursuant to 551-071 and 072, I would need a motion to proceed to executive session.
I'll move.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
And Judge, just for the record, us going back into closed session under those two items you just, subsections you just.
Yes.
Is in conjunction with item 25, where the court may reconvene back into closed session.
All right, sir.
Hurry up, because Mingo just ate some oatmeal this morning, so he's hungry. Right, Mingo? You only ate oatmeal this morning for breakfast?
Yeah, because I'm going to the Echo.
We're back in open session. Mr. Guerra?
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. Under open session 24A, there is no action. 24B, pending and potential litigation, there is no action. We've already, for the record, taken up items 24C, D, and E. Item 24F, claim of Lisa Sanchez, Judge, Commissioners, I'd like settlement authority to make an offer in the amount of $562.57.
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
24G, claim of Verizon, Judge, Commissioner, I'd like settlement authority to make an offer in the amount of $1,747.19.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Claim of Debbie Cáceres, Judge, Commissioners, I'd like settlement authority to make an offer in the amount of $11,450 for property damage.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item I, Judge Commissioners, excuse me.
Go home Monday.
Item 24I, civil action number 714 CV-00201, Laboud, individually and as a personal representative of the estate of Paul William Laboud versus the County of Hidalgo. Judge Commissioners, I would like for the court to take action giving the authority to sign for insurance purposes, insurance coverage purposes, and for further settlement negotiations, a consent to settlement resolution for with Markel Claims.
So moved.
Second. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Judge Commissioners, item 24J, civil action number 714 CV-00438, David Carizales and Rogelio Stablito versus Guadalupe Trevino Sheriff et al. Judge Commissioners, I would like to report that, or the court to take, entertain a motion in settlement of this case.
You want to include the amount?
Yes, I'm sorry, I've got it here, just had it.
Monica, help him out.
You need the numbers? I'll give you the numbers.
Here it is, I apologize.
Okay.
Here it is. In settlement of this case, this was settled at mediation, and I'm asking the court to entertain a motion in settlement of with the dollar amount of
Son 100,000 del DC.
Total, ¿verdad?
Yeah,
total,
plus 20-some thousand.
and I apologize, I'm not here today. 50,000 in settlement of 50,000 with.
And then we had spent 61 total, something like that, no?
Total amount.
Would be 100,000.
Total amount is $60,000 with the balance of the SIR to be tendered over to the to our carrier, in that we've already spent 60 some odd thousand, and so again, I'm asking the court to accept and take a motion in settlement of this case.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Judge Commissioners, I really do apologize. My thoughts
Are you
on
sure
it.
the numbers are correct, right? Because we approved them?
Yes. And the last one, Garza, Yesenia Garza versus Russell Dokes Suits Jr. in Hidalgo County Sheriff's Department. This was a claim that was assigned to Thornton and Summers. Judge Commissioners, this claim has turned into a lawsuit, and so I'm asking the court, just very quickly, under item 23, I'm requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code Section 262.02484, professional service for the provision of legal services, representation in connection with litigation. If I could have a motion.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
23B, requesting engagement with the firm of Thornton and Summers for the provision of legal services representation in connection with litigation, and authority to submit a letter of engagement as it pertains to the Yesenia Garza versus Russell Dokes Suits Jr. and Hidalgo County Sheriff's Department.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Okay. And Judge, again, I do want to make sure that I do, as the Commissioner stated, in settlement of the Carizales Tabolito versus former Sheriff Lupe Trevino, we did settle this amount, and after all accounting, all final attorney's fees, that we tender the remaining SR to travelers at a later date, again with after all proceeds are dispersed to the claimants. I will make sure that all proper documentation is given to the auditor's office. Okay. Judge, Commissioners, I do want to state for the record, and I do want to inform for everybody out there, I had stated earlier that our last Commissioners Court was going to be on the 15th of December, and so with that being said, I'd like for the court to know that given that that will be our last court session, then I'm asking the court I I plan to have one additional Commissioners Court meeting to get as much county business out. And so we will have Commissioners Court next week, Tuesday, and then our final on the 15th. And then our after the 15th, for the 1st of January, our first Commissioners Court will be January 5th. January 5th.
Very good, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, Alder.
Thank you.
Motion adjourned.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen.